I've been wondering how to, discuss about the blackout. It caused a lot of, discomfort to many. There are many people who work online. There are many people who depend on the night economy. They work in hotels which were closed. And then the following morning, they still spilled over. And then now the problem is they turned this fiasco, this entire blackout, a 15-hour blackout, they turned it and they concentrated all the attention on the airport. The airport only lost power for 30 minutes. The rest of us lost power for at least 15 hours. And then afterwards, another 3 hours were added in the evening. So they've turned it about to be an airport furore. And so when Kipchumba Murkomen, the CS for transport, was going to the airport, he was going, they were baying for the blood of some guy there called Ngari, Alexander Ngari. And so the biggest conversation on Twitter has been the selective application of justice. Why members of a certain community or ethnicity or people who are aligned to the regime have suddenly been shielded. And you understand why they concentrated all this furore on the airport, so that we can forget that we have endured an entire night and morning and half a day without power, without any credible explanation. We are not being told what has happened, but now they have made it, because we are so mentally colonized. You're colonized because you're the only sympathy that in your heart, or the way they tailor it, is that you should be sympathetic to the plight of the people, the Muzungus who are traveling. So let's worry about Muzungus only. Let's forget about those who have been affected locally, the business. These are the same characters. This is the same regime that has been saying, "Oh, we've been losing a lot of money from Andamano." So can they quantify? Because they were trying to quantify how much we've lost from Andamano. Can they quantify now how much we lost between last night and today? There are people who work online. There are people who do so many things. And then when even the internet itself, we've come to discover that even the base stations themselves are running on KPLC infrastructure. Nobody is talking about how we are going to disband KPLC, how we are going to end its monopoly. Dindi Nyoro, one of the biggest parrots of the Kenya Kwisha regime, is the biggest shareholder. There's something, ever since he started accumulating his stock there, then the power outages have been frequent. So what is happening? The speculation is rife that there must have been some smuggling operation at the airport. People are talking about gold. Others are talking about I don't know what. Can we get some clarity? Number two, how long will this monopoly end? How long will we keep on being held hostage by one rogue power provider? This is the same provider that the Office of the Auditor General has repeatedly said that they've been inflating our power bills 3 to 4 times. Why? Because they are stuck with contracts with independent power producers and they are paying them for not delivering any power. These are deals signed historically by people like Kiraito Murungi, Ketrako, Fernandez Baraza, the governor of Kakamega. And you guys worship them. The media worship them. They've been saying that these guys are, God's gift. They are the next best thing after sliced bread. You understand? And then now look at the composition of the people who are directly in charge, the people who bear most responsibility. Forget that character. Forget those clowns who are moved from the Kenya Airports Authority. Forget those ones. Forget that PR charade. And then you see Kipchumba Murkomen was landing there at, was it 12 p.m. in the morning. He should have been there in the evening. Immediately that blackout happened, he should have been there on site. But the guys, they were just sleeping. God knows what else they were doing. And then now he appears in the morning. He's a knight in shining armor. Oh, we've come to sack this guy. He's the sacrificial lamb, so that we can distract attention, because they need, what can we call it? They need a red herring to distract our collective attention from their responsibility. Now let's read about the tweets. There is one here by Rain Asambo. He says, the reason Gladys Sholei and Samson Cheragay cannot make noise over the countrywide blackout like they did over Ababu Namwamba is, number one, the CS of Energy is who? Davis Chirchir. CEO of Kengen, Abraham Serem. CEO of Kenya Power, Joseph Siror. CEO of Kenya Pipeline, Joe Sang. CEO of EPRA, Daniel Kipto. You understand? Now you see the selective application of justice. You see, when there are people, you know them, we don't need to mention them because this is not a naming ceremony, but you see them just thumping, we are shareholders. Shareholders for who? These guys are the ones who bear most responsibility. No, they are being shielded deliberately, and our attention is being diverted. And then now, there's a tweet here by Kabando. Just look, it was already in the books that Ruto's UDA was craving to out KAMD Alex Gitari. The excuse to sack him arrived last night. Rais won't sack his men, Murkomen and Chirchir. Those are sacred cows. And corking whiskey at KPLC, Kenya Airports Authority. We need Ruto to succeed, but he's tribal, inept, and chaotic. You understand? Now we are getting to levels of disgust, because how do you keep guys in a blackout for 24 hours, for close to 24 hours? And then now look at this one by Kulo Conrad. Somebody has to say it. Tribalism, nepotism shown by Kipchumba Murkomen and Caleb Kositani must be highly condemned. Why would an MD of KAA be sacrificed for someone else's incompetence? Why didn't anyone dare touch KPLC boss, CS for energy, or Murkomen as CS? Kalenjins must be called out for this. We are discussing national issues. You cannot condemn an entire country to darkness, and then we are supposed there to clap for you just because you've arraigned a sacrificial lamb, just because you've paraded him there, and then we are supposed to be now our issues have been resolved. We know the problem is in Kenya Power. We know the problem is in the energy sector. All these henchmen were put in this particular sector so as to undermine it, so as to undermine our progress, so as to undermine, because energy is key. We cannot move forward without energy. Energy is key for everything, for water, for hospitals. Now, let me tell you something else. So, somebody tagged me on this tweet. Thank you for the one who tagged me. So, a guy has tweeted there. He says, you can see it's 1 day ago. It's even before the blackout. Yesterday, around 1800 hours, me and mine welcomed a baby boy to this world. They'll be out tomorrow. We thank God. So he was saying yesterday. So he was talking about, he was tweeting on Friday and talking about Thursday. That's when the wife gave birth. Then he came and continued. Tweeted this happily until today morning. On 25th, the day that they were to check out, Kiddo wasn't lactating appropriations, and the doc decided to send it kwa nursery ICU ya infants. Mama alinipigia simu akilia leo around 9 am. Akilia akiniambia daktari amesema stima imefanya oxygen supply ikatike sababu Embu General Hospital haingeweza kurun backup generators the whole night. More than 3 infants walikuwa kwa nursery walizima tu hivyo yani. I'm really sad man. I'm heading home with a heavy heart. Nimeshow pedi tupatane hapo kwa gate. Sijui nitaambia mama nini. You understand? Now, Embu Hospital has no generator. Embu Level 5 General Hospital has no generator. Who is the governor of Embu? Cecily Barire. Barire is where? She's in Bomas, pretending that she's talking in the dialogue. You understand? What is a governor doing talking about dialogue? Aren't there MPs? Aren't there senators who are based in Nairobi who can do that work? Aren't there party officials? You understand? Cecily Barire, you remember, I've spoken about her severally because me, I'm very in tune with my deductive reasoning when she was gaslighting people and she was saying that, she was name dropping companies. These companies are behind coffee cartels. She had been a member of parliament for 20 years without making any contributions as regards to agriculture. But then when they come to the public, they want to gaslight people. So here she is. They have received money for devolution. She has not done anything. The main hospital doesn't have a generator. And there she is shouting every day that she's a strong man of this regime. That she's the one who is being sent to discuss about national dialogue over there. Cecily Barire should be arrested for criminal negligence. 3 children, 3 infants die. You see, this is a problem of you people when you vote with your diabs, you don't vote with your head, you vote with euphoria, and then you are singing, hey, let's do 6-piece. You didn't even sit down to vet that this person has been an MP for 20 years with CDF, hasn't done anything that can be shown. You just need to go on the CDF website and you see she hasn't done anything, but she's the biggest gaslighter because she goes on vernacular radio. Every time they're always gaslighting and, diverting attention. This is our problem. This is our problem. So 3 infants have died. God knows how many more. And our attention is on a bunch of Muzungus just because they were disrupted for 30 minutes. We are not talking about the number of people who may have died due to lack of electricity in hospitals. That's what you're being distracted from.